In a prior video, I think it was the clipping mask, I showed you this grid and talked a little bit about the rule of thirds and talked about these natural focal points where the intersections are. But I didn't say much more about it. Number one, if you're using your camera, you're taking a picture outside and you can see the horizon. I think you've probably seen this tic-tac-toe grid on your camera at some time. But if the sky is really interesting, put the horizon on this bottom third. If the foreground is really interesting, the sky's kind of boring, put the horizon on this line. That's, it's not math. It's a guideline. It's where you start with the composition. And then when you do that, put the most interesting thing in your picture on one of these thirds. But make sure that the background of your image, if you put, say you're taking a picture of your friend, and you put your friend here, but over here the background's kind of, uninteresting, well, move your camera, put your friend over here if this part of the background is more interesting. And if not, you move around. Find a spot where the background is interesting as well as where your friend is. These are just basic compositional techniques that people use to get started taking better photographs. But as far as composing your work, you may notice these three balls, these three circles, are centered on this bottom third. Now, why the bottom third? Because this big circle takes up so much more room. So, of course, the circles would be down here to achieve balance. This is asymmetrical balance. You've got this great big thing off to the left and the top that's balanced by these three smaller things, three different colors, bringing more attention right here, even though this takes up so much room. And I chose these colors to use them this way because I wanted the background not to dominate these colors. And again, these are complementary colors, opposite each other on the color wheel, approximately. One thing I didn't tell you is how to make this. And I saw one person had the tic-tac-toe grid up on their Illustrator document, and I didn't think to ask him, hey, how'd you do that? Because there's a lot of ways to do it, but there's a really, really easy way to do it. You may notice when I clicked on one of these lines, I got anchor points at the edges of the document. What's up with that? How was this made? Let me share a tip with you that you can use from now on because it's so easy. I'm going to hide that. Come up to this demo and click and hold on the line segment tool, or whichever one of these you might have used last, and the rectangular grid tool, select it, and then come out here and click. And by default, this is going to be, I think, 100, 100, 5, and 5. Change it. This is 1,000 pixels square. You need to know the size of your artboard. And you can resize this after you make it, but it's just easier to just make it the size of your artboard. So do the height and width, and then change the horizontal and vertical dividers to 2, and use outside rectangle as frame. You want that because you want to be able to select this as a big group. And you say, okay, and then align to artboard, right? Put it on the left, put it on the top. Boom. There it is. You have your grid ready to roll. Pretty sweet, huh? And easy to use.